Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look over here. We need to keep going with distance formula. Distance, d equals the square root of x2 minus x1 quantity squared plus y2 minus y1. If I plug in my points, 5 minus 1 quantity squared plus 4 minus 3 quantity squared, I come up with square root of 17. I also need to talk about slopes if I'm talking about perpendicular slopes. Well, upside down t means perpendicular. I would take this slope here, and if I wish to have one that's perpendicular, I'm going to flip it over and reverse the sign. So it becomes 4 over 1 with a negative out front. That's going to be perpendicular slope. If I wish to have a slope that is parallel, two little l's, that's going to be the exact same. Now, this becomes key when we start talking about equations of lines. Now, you need to be able to do equations of lines. A couple equations of lines that you're going to want to be able to do is slope y-intercept form. Slope y-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. That is the slope as given earlier. This is the y-intercept. So a couple things there. Now, that's not the only form of a line. You could have point slope form. Well, obviously, if you're given a point and a slope, you might want to use this form. It's y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Now, don't get crazy about this. If you know that slope equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, point slope form is nothing more than multiplying both sides of this particular equation by x2 minus x1 to get rid of the denominator, and you'll get y minus y equals m times x minus x. That's what point slope form is. Now, you also have standard form. Standard form of a line is somewhat less useful. It's going to be ax plus by equals c, or sometimes it is listed as ax plus by plus c equals 0. These are slightly different versions of the same. The problem is you can't find these directly. If I have those same 2 points, I have 1 comma 3 and I have 5 comma 4. I can find one of these other types of lines. Now, I already knew my slope from earlier, m equals 1/4. So what I can do is I can say y equals mx plus b. That's going to be my slope intercept form. Let's try that. Well, y equals, my slope is 1/4 x plus b. I do not know what the y-intercept is, but I do have 2 points. So if I plug in 3 for y from this point right here, and I plug in 1 for x from this point right here, I get b equals, by solving, 2 3/4. So my answer here becomes y equals 1/4 x plus 2 3/4. That's my slope y-intercept form. If, on the other hand, I wish to do point slope form, point slope form is going to be y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And so I have y minus, pick a point, doesn't matter. I'm going to pick this one this time. 4 equals m 1/4 times x minus the, as long as you choose 4 from here, you have to choose the 5 from the same. And so you distribute the 1/4. And now I can move this 4 over by adding it. And so I come up with y equals 1/4 x minus 5/4 plus 4. Well, I have to add this. Minus 5/4 plus 16/4 is going to be plus 11/4. Well, 11/4 is going to be 2 3/4 again. This is from point slope form. I can change it into y equals mx plus b, and it matches. Or I could go to standard form. In standard form, if I go to standard form, All I have to do is get the x's and the y's on the same side and get rid of all my denominators. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply everything by 4 and get 4y equals 1x plus 11. At this point, I can start rearranging and say negative 1x plus 4y equals 11. Then I need to make sure that in standard form my x is not negative, so I switch the signs. And that's going to be my standard form of a line. So a couple coordinate geometry pieces to go with our other pieces.